What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be making some homemade biscuit, quick and easy, only using 3 ingredients. 3 ingredients, guys. Follow me. So I have 2 cups of self-rising flour that I'm going to add in the bowl. Once I add that in there, I have 1 stick of butter flavor Crisco stick that I'm going to add in there. Once you add it in there, just take a spoon for whatever utensil you have and just chop it up in there until your flour gets nice and choppy. Once your flour gets the texture that it needs, you have 2 cups of buttermilk that you're going to add. Now just add both of the milk in there. Once you add both cups in there, just take a spoon and just stir that in there. Now it's still not going to be as thick as you want it to be, but what you're going to do is add some flour to the counter or whatever you're using, add it to the counter and add the dough on that flour. So leave your flour close by because you're going to still use your flour. So I'm going to continue to add flour on top of my dough and just take my hands and just continue to form it until my dough gets the texture that I need. Now, once you start forming it, you're going to see that all that Crisco butter that you add in there, you're not going to see it anymore. You're going to continue to form it until your dough gets nice and thick. Once it gets the texture that you need, what you're going to do is flip it and just shape it. Shape it enough when you use your dough cutter, it'll be nice and thick. You don't want thin biscuits, so make sure you keep it, at a reasonable size. So I'm going to just take the paper that I use with my Crisco stick and I'm going to grease my pan with it. If you don't have that, you can also use butter. So what I'm going to do is just take my hands and cut. Once I cut my biscuit, I'm just going to take my hands and just start forming it. Form it with my hands and make sure it gets the nice shape that I need it to get. Keep doing that until you're done. And once you finish the first set, you're going to notice that your dough is small and you're not going to have any more space to actually cut your dough. So what you're going to have to do is just reform it like you did the first time so you can get it to a nice size where you can start cutting again. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just start cutting it again, start forming it until my pan is nice and full. Now once I'm done, I'm going to have like 2 pieces of dough that's still left. We're not going to throw that away, guys. What we're going to do is just kind of roll that and just stick it right in this little corner. We're not throwing no dough away, guys. We're going to use everything. Once I've done that, I have some butter that I have melted, and I'm going to just take my butter, add on top of my biscuit. Just add it on top of the biscuit. And because this is going to give your biscuit a whole nother texture, guys, adding that butter on top. So you don't want to miss this step. And this is just how I do it, mine. Everybody doesn't have to do this. So once I do that, look at it. I just took it out the oven and I have a little bit of butter left in the bowl, and I'm just going to take that and add it on top of the biscuit now that it's hot. So we're just going to add that on top until it's nice and clear. And look, guys, look at that, nice and tender in the inside. Guys, this was quick and easy. Give it a try. Bye.